Well, my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Man Cave. I think I've got a pretty good vlog for you today. I got a few videos and a few show and tell items, just stuff. Anyway, the first order of business is you can kiss April goodbye. Man, it just doesn't seem like it could go by that fast anymore. It's unbelievable. To me, a month seems like it's a week long now. I mean, it really does. It seems like it's going that fast. It's just nuts. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's the way it seems to me, and I'm not saying that just to sound cute. I mean, it really does seem like it's going that fast. I guess it's as you get closer to the end, it seems like you're running out of time awful quick. Well, the big decision has been made. It's been made. I'm going to give Mountain View one more try. I'm almost ashamed to even mention it to you. But anyway, we're going to go down June 12th. That's a Thursday, and we'll be there through the Saturday and coming back on Sunday morning. Gary, the guitar player, Don, the bass player, and Bruce Robinson, who plays mandolin and guitar from Oxford, Mississippi. They're going to be there. I'm going to be there. And that's about all I could say about it. We'll, if anybody is brave enough to go down there after the stunt I pulled last year, I'd, be happy to tell you where we're going to be playing. And you can send me an email if you're going to be down there, and I'll send you a text with my phone number for texting and stuff that we can get back and forth once we're down there. You can wait till it's closer to that time to send me that email. But anyway, we'll, that's just what's going to happen. We're going to go back down there. I'm going to give it one more try. Anyway, I do have a link in today's description of a kid band. It was just random, popped up on YouTube. And I thought, usually when I see these things, I watch 10 seconds of it and go, that's cute, and kind of move on. This is different. This is a kid band. It's called the Greystones. Some of you might have heard of them. This is the only thing I've seen on them. I didn't go looking to see what else they have out there. I only saw this one video. That's all I cared to watch. But it's pretty unbelievable. These are 8 young kids. I would say they're 12 years old is probably their average age. And they're kicking. I mean, they're kicking. They're really good on their instruments. It's not bluegrass or country. It's more of a pop type band. I think I forget this slow motion or what. I don't know what this. I forgot the name of the song they did, but anyway, they did it really well. There's one kid's playing a saxophone, and he's good on that thing. And another kid's playing a keyboard. They've got a drummer, and they got 2 female singers. One sings the lead. The other one's singing really good harmony. They got a guitar player and a bass player. And I mean, they're just really good. You should watch this. I mean, seriously, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how good they are. I mean, it's tough with a 3-piece band like we had the other night to have 3 people doing the same thing at the same time. They got 8 kids doing the same thing at the same time, and it sounds really good. I was floored how good they did it. Just floored. It didn't sound like a bunch of little kids playing pretty good music. It sounded like professionals playing quality music. That's what it sounded like. Unbelievable. Let's see. We had thunderstorms last night. There was 2 inches of rain came here. So that inspired the ASMR video. Wouldn't it be nice to be like being a screened-in tent laying next to that and just, you know, in the shade and drinking a good cold Pepsi? Just taking a nap right there. It's just peaceful as heck to me. I love that. Let me show you. Well, I was going to, let's see, I've got them out of order here. I think I'll do the metal detecting next. You know, I've been looking and trying to find stuff. Well, here's a little short video clip, and then I'll show you what I found. My friends, I've told you several times how many signals you hear in a place like this, but I don't think I can overestimate it. I turned the volume up. I'm hoping you can hear this. Just listen. This is just random. Watch. Doesn't matter which way you go. You can go any direction you want to go. And you might say, oh, there's no way there could be that many signals. Promise you, if you dig, you will find something. And every hole, most every hole, as I'm digging what I think is a good signal, I'll find 3 or 4 extra nails or pieces of wire or something just I wouldn't even expect, you know, or maybe even a bullet or something. It's nuts. But this area right here is very productive. I think the original old house sat in this area here somewhere, possibly even right here. There's a wall, that's where the wall is in the woods up there. And I know there's a lot of signals on the other side of this old fence here. But regardless, this area here is where I found that 1885 Indian head penny. So I've got to get through all these iron signals and try to find more coins here. I have a feeling there's at least probably one more coin here somewhere if I look hard enough. And I would love to find it. And maybe it'll even be older than 1885. You just never know. What I meant to tell you before I showed you that was that every beep you hear is something. I mean, even those low beeps, those low grunts, you know, and then the high beeps, beep, beep, you know, every single sound you hear is a target. I guarantee you. And it's not falsing or faking you out. There's that many targets in the ground. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah. People say, you dig everything. Oh, sure. Yeah, right. Dig everything. Sure, go right ahead. Have fun with that. You'll be digging the rest of your life, and then you won't even be out of that little square. It's unbelievable how much stuff. And I think it's partly because those bulldozers just plowed the area, you know. In fact, where I showed you in the video there, that where that little fence line is, it's not much of a fence left now. In fact, I knocked some of that down myself. But anyway, that fence line area where you could see the line of trees, that's a berm also. That's one of those erosion berms that the bulldozers put in there. You couldn't really see it on the video, but it's a high mound, and it runs the length of the field all the way down the field to and as we were facing those trees, it runs all the way to the left, which is back towards the shop and everything, and it runs the full length. That's a half a mile, and it's a berm. It's probably, I don't know, 6 feet high, something like that. And all they did was just mush up all that dirt, you know, into a berm, and they just smeared everything everywhere. It's just amazing how much stuff's in the ground. Well, let me show you. Here's what I found. Now, if you remember a month or so ago, I showed this thing that I found. and I was trying to figure out what it is. I opened it up a little bit more. It was pretty smashed flat. But it's some kind of, I think it's some sort of a lid or something that goes to something. That's what I think, but I don't know. Well, I found another part of it today, and this one looks cruddier. It didn't fare as well, but it's got the exact same, like you can see like a checkerboard pattern in this one. That's in this also. It's just that this is duller looking. You can't see it as well. There it is. I think you can see the checkerboard. But it's the same stuff, and I imagine they went together. I still don't know what it is, and of course now it's out of focus because I put that up there close. These cameras are junk. They don't focus quick enough. Doggone it! I just gotta have to ignore it. I can't help it. It's just part of it. And then I found some little stuff. I can't ignore it. It drives me crazy. I'm going to switch to a different screen and see if it comes back with the focus. Gee whiz. It's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It only does it because we're live here. Wanted to show you, I found some of the little junk, just typical stuff. This is like a probably a rivet or something. I don't know. It's like a circle that would have been on a blue jeans or something like that little rivet hole that used to be in the blue jean pockets. It's sort of like that. That's what it looks like. I found this. I wasn't going to show you this, but then I got to thinking, well, I'll show you this because they purposely made that for something. I remember like my great-grandparents, they had stuff like this all the time hanging around in their garage or even in their house. I think they had a handle like that on their fly swatter, So, I mean, it could have been anything. But it's just part of Americana's type things. And then I found my obligatory shotgun shell. This one's a Winchester repeater. It's a turn of the century again. It's 1890s to 1900s early. Why won't the camera focus back? It's just so dumb. It's so dumb. I don't know why it does that. It just does it to aggravate me. And then I wanted to show you this in detail, so you can't see the detail very well. Maybe you can because it's focused up close. But you can see, look at that. That's super detailed. All the stuff that's in there. That's just a piece of cast iron that was probably off a stove. And here's another piece of cast iron off a stove. Now keep in mind, they still make wood stoves today. But do you ever see any of them that look like that? No, they're usually just plain metal, just plain old stuff, because we don't care about that kind of stuff anymore. And that's kind of sad, I think. They made stuff to be nice back in the day. Not only was it functional and it lasted forever, it looked nice too, And even the modern wood stoves that you buy that have this kind of embossing in them that are cast like this, the embossing's really cheap looking. I mean, they do still make that kind of stuff. They really do, but it's really cheap looking. Now, I showed you either yesterday or day before or sometime recent, I showed you a little single chain link I found. Well, take a look at this. It was all straight a minute ago. Of course, on camera, it's going to not be straight. But see, look at the big hook. This was... I am 99% sure this was a piece of harness. In other words, this piece here would hook onto the leather harness, the strap, and this would go through the eye of the single tree or double tree, whatever you're however you're hooked up. This end would attach to generally a single tree type thing, and anyway, just the point is that that is some kind of handmade hardware, really. I mean, I'm sure they handmade these chain links and made this hook, hand-forged type stuff. And poor old mule and horse or whatever it was working hard because all of these links were stretched out now. I mean, they were pulling hard to stretch those out like that. And I'm sure that wasn't a tractor. That was horse-drawn stuff, and it finally focused because I don't have nothing else to show you now. Anyway, that's just what I found this morning. And I found it all of that was found in that little bitty spot that you saw right there on camera. I mean, like, I didn't go any further, just right there. And I could find 100 times that much if I just stayed right there and just kept digging right there. It's unbelievable. But I'm really trying, it's really hard to find a good signal in between all those iron signals. All the all those are iron, and there's just thousands and thousands of them. It's really difficult to do anything and be able to pick out the good signals there. Well, let's see, 116 viewers at the moment. David Tharp says, howdy y'all. Question. No, wait a minute, I didn't show you the Honda status yet. That's what I meant to show you. That's why I did the metal detecting first, because this one's a little bit longer video. I think you'll enjoy this if you haven't seen some of this done before. Well, my friends, things just keep happening. I took the valve out of this. This is the exhaust side of the valve here, and it was pretty corroded up, carboned up, you know. So I took it over to the wire wheel and cleaned it all off and made it nice. Now, I tried not to hit the seat with the wire wheel at all. I tried not to touch that. But regardless, we're going to you know, seat the valves anyway, grind them down and make them fit really good. So I'm not worried about that too much. But I did get it all cleaned up. I'm going to show on camera how I take these off. I have an old school valve spring compressor here. I went ahead and ordered a new one, but this old school one seems to work pretty doggone good, really. And I've had this for years. And let's see if I can do it here on camera. I don't know if I can or not. I have to get in from the odd angle. And really what you do is you get this end around the tail end of the valve, around that keeper thing, and this end presses down on the valve itself, the point, and you just keep pressing and pressing until you get that spring collapsed. And then once you get the spring collapsed enough, you can reach in and pull these little keepers out. I say you can reach in and pull these little keepers out. Well, I got the one out, no problem, but that other one seems to be stuck. There it is. Maybe I can get it now. Man, why is it always something like that? See if I can get it with a little pliers here or something. Just feels like it's stuck to the thing pretty tight, actually. Shouldn't be that stuck. There it is, got it out. Yeah, I don't know why that was stuck. And anyway, so basically you've got that compressed so you can get those little keepers out right there. And then you just have to release the pressure and let off like that. And then I'll show you how the rest of it comes apart here. So then you've got this little cap or seat or whatever you want to call that thing. You pull that off. There in these valves, there's an outer spring and an inner spring, which is kind of more than I'm used to, be honest with you. Most of the time, my little engines I used to work on only had one spring. And this is the intake valve. It's the large valve. And it's not corroded up hardly at all. So it's up in pretty good shape. I'll probably just clean it with just carb cleaner here and make it look, you know, just make sure it's clean. So I'm just going to spray that on there and just wipe it off. I like to clean everything. I don't put anything back in an engine that's not super clean. Yeah, I don't know. Some people, I see people doing it all the time, and they don't even bother to clean any parts. They just take it apart, fix whatever it is, put it right back together as dirty as it was. That's not how I roll. I've got a wire brush. I mean, this is a brass brush, so it's not going to hurt anything. And of course, valves are very hard, but I'm just doing this to see if I can get any extra carbon off the top there. Not that it really matters, but why not? And like I said, that's a brass brush. It's not going to do any damage to anything. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to keep these separate, even though it probably wouldn't matter. But I am going to make sure I get them back together the same way they came apart. That's the good news. That's how you do the valves as far as taking them out. When you go to grind them, you basically put paste on this and paste on this other deal. And then you have a little hand spinner that's it's basically a suction cup, and you just spin it like this until the paste grinds the valve seats very tight, so they're airtight. Okay, well, that's basically how that's done. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have the stuff to grind them with. But let me tell you the bad news. The bad news is this carburetor, I've put it in this bath 3 times now. Everything seems to be functioning except for the very main jet, which is, this is the intake tube where the fuel comes in. And it should go straight into the float valve. And I can barely even get an air bubble through there. I mean, like, even when I've got it full of carb cleaner or whatever, and I blow on this end, I can barely make a bubble. It won't blow through at all. I put my mouth on it, I can't blow at all through it. Only under the high compression air compressor can I even get an air bubble. I've heated this up with a propane torch, put more, carb cleaner through there. I've tried everything I can think of. I've got a guitar wire, a tiny little wire, tried to fish it through. Nothing's working. I can't get that open for anything. So, just to play it safe, I went ahead and looked online to find a replacement carb, and they had one that was rated very well. It sold over 1,000. It was rated 4.5, so 4.5 stars, that is. So I went ahead and ordered it. It was only 25 bucks. It's hardly worth the effort to go much further. But in worst case scenario is I can use the new one to put this one back together if I can get this port open. But that port will not open at the moment. If anybody has any real good suggestions on how to get that port open, if it was straight through, you could get it open no problem. But it goes down, cross, and then down. So yeah, I think the cross tube is probably clogged, and with all that debris that was in this thing, I'm not sure there's any hope to get it cleaned out, at least not right now, because I've got 100 pounds of pressure blowing on that, and like I said, even with this in there, I can barely get a tiny bubble on this end. So that's not good. Yeah, just typical stuff. You should be able to get a free flow through there. That's why that little float valve closes that off and stops the fuel from flowing in. The fuel should freely flow through there, and you can't like I said, under 100 pounds of air pressure, I could barely get a tiny air bubble, and that's all it would do, is it just make an air bubble. It would not blow through. And like I said, I put it in that sonic washer 3 times with lots of detergent. I even heated it up with a torch. It's clogged. It's not wanting to go through there at all. So, just the way it is. David Tharp says, "Howdy y'all. Questions: Why are they called French fries when it's obvious they are fried in grease?" Okay. In Greece, as in the country. Okay, gotcha. It took me a second there on that one. Daddy's praying for me and everybody. everybody, literally, the country and the whole thing. Thank you, Dottie. Bill Webb, good afternoon, Jerry and friends from the rainy Wednesday in Commerce, Texas. We've had plenty of rain here. It was real sunny this morning again, but it looks like it's getting overcast again. We're supposed to have rain, like for 3 days in a row here, so I figure there was not much point in starting anything big out there. The metal detecting this morning was fine because it was sunny out this morning real early, but let's see. David Tharp says, rant alert. I have a plan on fixing the top bulge. Use hide glue to attach a bed slat to the top. Pour a quart of Tight Bond over it and crank the double action truss rod to lower the action. Yeah, I think all that works. Just go for it. And be sure to use plenty of smoke and mirrors, lots of heat lamps. That, in my opinion, all that's smoke and mirrors. Let's see. Bill Webb, I'm having a bad week. A couple days ago, I dropped a heavy wooden chair on my right big toe. It's all purple and bruised now. Then yesterday, I cut off a piece of my left index finger. Wow. Ugh. Sorry to hear that, Bill. My gosh. Needless to say, he says, I won't be playing bass for the church praise team anytime soon. Wow. I'm not good with that kind of thing. It invokes too many pictures of things I've done to myself. Oh, man. Ronald Todd. Oh, David, you're really pushing the rent button. Bill Webb says, Dottie, I'm staying still on the couch watching Jerry. Well, God bless you, Bill. I hope everything works out for you, man. I hate stuff like that. Bill Webb says, luckily, Eddie, it was the side of my finger, so hopefully won't interfere with the guitar once it heals. Yee. Bill Rhodes says, good afternoon. Ronald Todd, glad to hear you'll have some people for sure to play with at Mountain View. Yeah, we'll have some folks down there. I'm hoping there'll be some of the either, good pickers or, just people coming in that are good pickers. I mean, I don't mind playing with anybody. I really don't. But it's that old thing I always say, you got to have enough sense to know how to pound sand in a rat hole. I mean, that's really about the bottom line. If you got that much sense, I'll play music with you. But the last time I was down there, these people were beating on their guitars like they knew the song, and they weren't even in the right key or anything. Like as an example, when Don was here the other night, playing lead guitar with just him and me, when I didn't know the song, I had enough sense to back off and just hit a rhythm, just keep time. I didn't try to hit the chords and screw up the sound of the music. You can, that's all it takes. If you don't know the song, back off a little bit. That's all I'm asking, And so that's what was not happening down at Mountain View last time. Everybody was just beating the things like they were, like they were trying to kill their guitars, and they weren't in the right key or chord or anything. It just sounded like a bucket of bees, man. It was horrible. Just horrible. Let's see. David Tharp says, camping, where you spend a small fortune to live like a homeless person. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. GNP Old Marine Shop. Hello, Jerry. Just curious, are they ever fish in the rain-fed creek by your house? Just curious, are they ever fish in the rain-fed creek by your house? Well, all the main creeks, the main creek going down through the main valley, there's plenty of minnows in it. I wouldn't exactly say there's fish in it. There's minnows in it. We will occasionally throw a bluegill out of the pond into the creek, so rather than throw them on the bank like most people do, we just throw them in the creek. Most of those bluegill came out of the river to begin with. That's how the pond was stocked. Because some of those bluegill are what I'm calling bluegill. I should call them sunfish, like the proper name, I guess. But some of those sunfish are pumpkin seeds, definitely came out of the river. You don't see those normally in ponds. But anyway, so we just pitch them over into the creek, and the creek's plenty deep right in that area, and they can go back down to the river then. Bill Webb, do you fill the holes back when you're through digging? That would drive my grandfather crazy. Oh yeah, I always fill them right back in. It would be pretty messed up out there if I didn't. You wouldn't be able to drive a tractor or nothing. Bill Mumbo, good plan, David Tharp, but the glue goes on the inside. Bruce Moore, is there any fish in your stream? I believe it would support brook trout. It's not quite cold enough for that. And now the Little Piney, right where Mill Creek enters the Little Piney, there are reports of trout in the Little Piney. Little Piney's cold, but the Mill Creek is the colder of the streams, and Mill Creek does have trout in it. I don't think it means anything. They call it a blue ribbon trout stream, Mill Creek. And Mill Creek comes into the Little Piney about, I'm going to say roughly a mile upstream from our farm. But Mill Creek's really small. The Little Piney, it's called Little Piney Creek, but Mill Creek is even smaller than Little Piney. And anyway, I've never fished the Mill Creek. I've walked along the banks of it looking to see if I'd see a trout here and there, and I really never have seen a trout in there, but people say they're in there. And according to Missouri Conservation, they call it a blue ribbon trout stream. So that's all I can tell you about that. But the Little Piney then, below there, it's after you just go a little ways below there, it's not cold enough, I don't think, to really support trout. Let's see. David Tharp. Yes, I know Bill also probably throw a firecracker to help it dry faster. Yeah, that was the craziest one ever, was the firecracker one. If you're new here and you don't know about these stories, well, sorry, but yeah, I had a guy that did that. He put firecrackers in his guitar to try to make it vibrate better, and it probably did, sort of, for a couple seconds. Bill Mumbo, Jerry's going to excommunicate you, David. I'm just going to try to ignore him as much as I can. Bill Mumbo's laughing out loud. And let's see. Ronald Todd, thumbs up, everybody. If you would, please, that helps. Mara Merge says, if you haven't been in close contact, your friend Randy Schartiger is hurting and needs our prayers and support. Well, I'm sorry. I haven't paid any attention lately, I'll be honest. But doggone it, I hate to hear that. Yeah, we're all getting there, It's tough. And like I said, it seems like it's going really fast right now. Gino Hitch, hi, Jerry and friends. Got there late, had a dentist appointment. Hope everyone is fine. Yep. Bill Mumbo, well, everybody but Bill Webb, he cut off part of his finger. Golly. That's why I'm not a doctor. Bill Mumbo, in England, those keepers are known as valve caps. Yep, I just couldn't think of a word, me and words. And the two small parts are called collets. We don't call those collets. We do call those the keepers, the little pieces. I used to be an engine and gearbox builder in my younger years. Yeah, well, you know me. It's just on camera especially. I just can't think of the words. It's like being on stage. I can't think of their names, even though obviously I know their names. I don't know why my brain works like that, but it just does. I can't help it. And it's not an old age thing. I keep saying that because that's been the way I have been my whole life. Let's see. GMP Old Marine Shop. I like Captain Binghamton's sayings from McHale's Navy, Jerry. I could just scream and he says, somebody up there hates me. Yeah, I kind of can relate to that too. David Tharp, I went to an ice cream place that advertised hand-dipped ice cream. I insisted that when they made my cone to use a scoop. I would prefer that also. Let's see. Bill Webb, I sent pictures of the finger to your email just in case. Oh, I don't want to see it. I seriously don't. I don't like that kind of thing. So I probably won't look at it. I'm not kidding you. That's the reason I'm not a doctor. I would have loved to have been a doctor. And I think I'd have made a really, really good doctor. But I don't like to see stuff like that on other people. Now, if it happens to me, that's the odd thing. It doesn't bother me. I'm opposite as everybody else. Everybody else, if it happens to them, it bothers them. To me, if it happens to me, it's like, oh, okay, well, it happened. Now I got to do something. Now I got to deal with it. But if I see it on you, it drives me crazy. I don't know why that is. It's just the way it is. I was built backwards, man. Everything about me is backwards. Let's see. Bill Mumbo, Jerry Randy's lost his wife and daughter recently. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. That's horrible. Well, I mean, wait a minute. I guess I knew he lost his daughter. I did not know he lost his wife. Wow. Have you ever noticed that everyone driving slower than you is an idiot and everyone driving faster than you is a maniac? Yeah, I've noticed that. I notice it right on the highway all the time. No, on the highway here, it's weird because I drive fast. I'm not going to, apologize. I drive fast. I don't drive crazy fast. Like if the speed limit's 70, I'll be 75-ish, something like that. So I'm always a little faster than the speed limit. That's just kind of me. But, the people that generally pass me, for the most part, are either young women that are, and I'm saying like in the neighborhood of 20 to 40-ish, those women pass me all the time. They've just got lead feet. Or people from Illinois, or people from Texas. Seems like there's one more state that's real common that passes me all the time. But Illinois and Texas for sure. Those two for sure pass me all the time. It's like those three groups are just passing me all the time. Very rarely do other people pass me. I mean, they do. I mean, sure, everybody does, but those are common. Those pass all the time. If you ever start noticing the plates of the people that are driving fast, if you're in Missouri, it's going to be Illinois, Texas, and young women. It's crazy. But, of course, I drive fast too, but not that fast. I don't drive like over 85 or 90 like they're doing. I mean, like they're doing 85 or more, They're just... They just go by you in a flash. Well, guys, I think that's it for now. I will have more tomorrow. As far as the play along tomorrow evening, right now it's just going to be me. I might see if I can drag somebody in here. You just never know how it'll turn out. But we will be back tomorrow with another vlog and something else. Have no idea what it'll be, but we'll try to make it good. We'll see you then.